Welcome back to, I don't have it on the right thing, to Games Revealed. I'm James Nelson the Brink, and we are one community, I guess. 'Cause that's what this Let's Chat's all about, is us chatting about game, tech, everything. We do everything here. I'm going to get the websites set up real quick. Let's see here. And then, yeah, let's say hi to everyone. I also need to copy this over. Let's see here. Just need to change the source out. Okay. There we go. Welcome. Catsmith for you, welcome. Rachie. And BT Maverick, welcome to the Games Revealed show. You guys are, it's not casuals. You guys are frequent flyers of this, this stream, I guess. This stream, whatever it is. So, yeah. How was your guys' week this last week? You guys do anything fun? Personally, Rachie personally played a game called, Abiotic Factor. Let's see. It's gonna pull up ChatGPT, which I didn't quite want, but sorry. I also just rushed. I just got done eating. We'll have to. I don't think this is it. National Geographic. That is hilarious. It's on Game Pass. Oh my gosh. Why would it look through the Steam community? How silly. Okay. So it's this one right here. Makes you think of Half-Life a little bit. Oh, I should probably share my screen. See here. Bam. Okay. Interesting. I need to get I need to change my search from ChatGPT. What the? It came out. Oh, it came out a few days ago. Interesting. Huh. There's some lag going on with my mouse. Weird. So oh gosh. I have no clue why my mouse is lagging, but whatever. Yeah, I definitely think they took some heavy inspiration on some of these characters, it looks like, from Half-Life, potentially. Interesting. It's definitely like, oh, is it? It looks like an indie, but there's a publisher? Interesting. It's like an indie publisher. Weird. I'll throw it onto my... I have to sign in. We'll do that later. Is very Half-Life coded. Hey, you know me. I'm a huge Half-Life fan, so that it definitely feels very Half-Life 1-esque. And you're not wrong. It is feel Half-Life coded. Yeah. I definitely think I'd enjoy this game. I'm going to put it on my list. They even did like the retro graphics too with it. Oh my gosh. Gotta give me a second. Something's going on with my mouse. Just gonna quit out of a couple of things, see if I can get shouldn't even be resource issues. It's just something messed up. Hey, welcome back, Wolf. The Icarus, welcome. Game Pass also hitting 5 billion from the latest financial reports and up 13%. I think from what I read by BT Maverick, it's 5 billion from 2020. I think from 2020 since the pandemic. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's what it's earned, potentially total. The Icarus game I'm looking forward to is Age-Filled High. The trailer has horrible lip syncing, but it looks to be interesting. Grabbing some stuff at Trader Joe's, very sneaky, good frozen meals. Nice. I love Trader Joe's. I'll say this right now. I think before all the prices went up, Trader Joe's used to be the more expensive place, but you could still get some pretty good quality stuff that was sourced from other places. And now I think it is the better deal, in my personal opinion, especially if you want quick meals that you don't have to prepare yourself. Like you can get for a whole family, like orange chicken or 2 things of orange chicken and some fried rice for like $10, which would be the same meal for just, it costs you, like if you went to Panda Express, it'd cost you like $30 for the same amount. So I think it's pretty good, but we're not here to talk about food. We're here to talk about games and tech. So let's get on with the next set of news. I'm just really annoyed by my mouse. You know what? I wonder if it's that. Hold on. I did plug my Stream Deck. I wonder if that messed up anything. I didn't set things up properly. Okay. Oh, it's also multiplayer. Ooh, Wolf, we might have to play that. Oh, but it's $35. Damn. I don't even know if I've noticed this was a thing until now. So, looks pretty impressive, honestly. Also, is it time to buy the Switch 2 now? What do you think, guys? Don Quixote, welcome. What game was that? That was... gotta go back. My mouse is so messed up. So laggy. Maybe it's working better now. There we go. I think it's working better now. Okay. Abiotic Factor is the name of the game. And it looks... Yeah, my mouse is doing much better. Well, okay, almost. I must be killing my bandwidth. That's probably what's going on. My USB... I'm going to have to redo everything with my USB setup. I think I have too many things plugged in on this one thing. Excuse me. So, yeah, it looks really good. Abiotic Factor is a survival crafting experience for 1 to 6 players set in the depths of underground research facility caught between paranormal containment, failure, a military crusade, and chaos from a dozen realms. The world's greatest minds must survive against the universe's biggest threats. Oh wow! This came out a week ago, and it actually has a pretty decent amount of reviews. Damn, it's definitely Half-Life coded. The more we look at this, masterpiece in a level design, co-op gameplay, one of the greatest bangers to be released. Can't wait for the extra content. Oh, that does sound really good. Nice. People are like, we need more Half-Life, and that's what this really feels like. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh. Whatever. We'll do the shortcut. So yeah. Should you buy a Switch 2 now or wait for Black Friday? I'm going to tell you this right now. I wanted to come to this. I'm not going to read the article. I highly, highly doubt the Switch 2 will go on sale during Black Friday. What will happen most likely is they'll have some extra bundles or something. Maybe they'll have something like bundle wise, but I can pretty much tell you they're not going to put this thing on sale. I doubt they're going to have the stock shortage appears to be over, or if you should wait for Black Friday. Okay, yeah. So the stock, you can go in and buy one now for $500 or $450. I just couldn't imagine buying one right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, guys, and I'll get back to your guys' chat. Donkey Kong Bonanza review, or this review from IGN. So, you can take it with a grain of salt. That sandwich actually looks kind of good. 10 out of 10, which it is a Nintendo game, and IGN tends to give Nintendo very favorable ratings. But to be fair, I think usually it's pretty, like, I'm not even the biggest. I love Mario, especially growing up. I play it for nostalgic reasons, and I think the new ones are pretty good. But I would not call myself the biggest Mario fan. I haven't beat them all. I beat some with Susie and my kids, but I can respect when they come out with them because they're always bangers, almost always. This masterpiece is impressive. That they got a masterpiece. I've heard only good things from Donkey Kong Bonanza, and so I'm shocked that, hey, we finally have a good game that's actually worth getting a Switch to. The Mario Kart World review, you see it got an 8 here. It looked interesting, but it did not give me enough to buy a Switch 2. In fact, even with this, I might pick up this if my kids want a Switch 2 for Christmas. This is making me much more likely to pick one up for them, and I will play it too. And to be fair, once I learned that the Switch 2 is an 8-inch screen, it made me a little bit more interested in it, because I want to go back through and play Luigi's Mansion 3, because I really like that game. But I want a bigger screen, and I guess I could do it on the TV, but especially when I'm playing single player games, I don't really like playing on the TV. I like playing just on the go and so this, albeit it feels so much heavier than the Switch 2, because I tried it out at Target near me, but that screen is much bigger, which is kind of what I'm wanting. Just a little bit more premium. It just feels a little bit more premium. We don't have a Switch OLED. We have 2 regular Switches. One of them, the special one that you can do certain things to back up your games. Don't need to get flagged by Nintendo Hawks. But yeah, it's definitely this game is definitely looking really good. I guess I could play the trailer or the video. I just can't. It is an IGN review, so I don't think it'll be too bad.
Has left you with some country fried hair. Well, come get yourself some fixins at Pantene.
Oh my gosh. Yep, I need some Pantene for my head. Let's see what everyone's talking about. So, BT Maverick, its annual revenue, Game Pass was a $4 billion last year, I swear. BT Maverick, you're probably correct. I went to go. I can't remember when I talked about it. I might have talked about it last week or something, about how it's making so much more money, and then I don't know if I read the article wrong, but it seemed like it was total. But I'd have to go look again. Lomkey, if I ever do get a Switch 2, I do have a few games for the Switch. I'll get OLED Switch 2. That's the hard part for me. I usually, especially with the Nintendo devices, I like to get 2 for multiplayer reasons, but this time around, I will probably be getting 1 and seeing how my kids fight over it, because they're going to fight over it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I get 1 or 2. It depends on how much they fight. I'll probably try to get them to play it on the TV more, but we'll see. It definitely. He loves that banana. He loves him some bananas. My son's knocking at the door. Hold on. Hey, I'll get it for you later, okay, bud? He wants some credit for something. No, not right now, buddy. Okay. So let's see here. Oh my gosh, the mouse is going all weird again. God damn it. Dude, this only happens when there's like USB. It's got to be my USB hub. It must be dying. Okay. Let's read some more stuff from you guys. Dunkieto, it is not time to buy a Switch 2. Nintendo has not deserved my money this season. Too much banning and suing and creepiness. Nintendo's never, I shouldn't say that. Nintendo is probably never going to stop with their lawsuits and their banning. Companies just tend to do that. If you try to back up, they're going to try to find ways to prevent that. I don't think Microsoft and PlayStation are as bad. And I'm not saying that Nintendo should ban you, of course. But I see it as the price of admission for this ride. If you buy a Switch 2, you can expect you cannot back up your games, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of. But that's just the price of admission. We can still fight it. You can still not buy one. I'm all on the fence right now of not buying one. But I don't want to also bring my kids into the fight, so there might be a good chance I'll bring them. I'll get the device eventually for them to play, but it'll be later. I'm more of a I give into stuff more, I guess. Rachie, where's the dog? Where's Loki? I'm sure he's out there. Reining in the kids. He loves to rein in those kids. He thinks they're sheep. I didn't realize Nintendo was being creepy, though. Interesting. They definitely haven't earned my money yet. This game is the first one where I'm like, my 5-year-old loves platformers right now. And I really do want to feed that desire. And I think that this game would be perfect for him. So we'll see. Do not buy this. They are removing all the water for my thirst. All the water for my thirst. Yeah. I might eventually buy one, like I said, but Nintendo, like Icarus is saying, Nintendo's never does Black Friday deals. Not well. I think they've done bundles, and their bundles are technically a deal, especially if the games are $80. But that's another thing. I don't want to pay $80 for games, especially if they're third party. If it's first party and they're worth it, like this right here, you give me plenty of time, plenty of gameplay, especially for my kids. Okay, sure, I might do it then. So we'll see. I'm still skeptical at this point, but we'll see. It definitely wouldn't be if it was for me, I'd be waiting a couple more years. Or maybe getting getting one used. I'm going to buy a Switch 2, but for the new Hyrule Warriors title. Okay there, Chris. Yeah. Zelda, there's only one Zelda for me, Wind Waker. All the other ones, I get bored too fast. I don't know what it is. I'm broken. I'm not big into the Zelda world. Lomkey, I think IGN mostly flavor not to upset big game companies. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of these companies give better ratings than they would to maybe an indie or some other titles to bigger companies because they don't want to lose out on some exclusivity deals. There's just so much. And honestly, it is kind of upsetting that we don't have some journalistic integrity. I know it's games, but at least some where they can't just bully a publisher or a news agency to do what they want. Get a good rating or whatever, Chris Lee, what's the most expensive handheld ever made? Console-wise, this. The Switch 2. But If you bring into anything that's a handheld that can play a game, probably like an Neo or something like that. I'm sure they have like a $2,000 or $3,000 one. I'd be shocked if it was more than $3,000 though, but I could be wrong. Your phone, if you bought a $1,500 iPhone, maybe. Dickrus, that's right. You bought a Switch back in February. Yeah, the original Switch is fine. I just want a bigger screen. The OLEDs definitely are worth it, but I still want a bigger screen, and I'm not going to be buying another Switch one. BT Maverick Switch looks awesome, but I don't want to be trapped inside of their ecosystem and overpriced store. Yeah, but the BT Maverick, you do run don't you run a Steam Deck? I can't remember if you run a Steam Deck most of the time, but yeah, I wouldn't buy the Switch 2 would not be a main console for me. It'd be a exclusive console. So I have a PlayStation 5 mostly for exclusives or for my family to play games I just don't want them to touch my computer with because I haven't got, well, they have their own computers too, but once we have a more family-centric computer for them to play stuff on, I'll just get stuff for the PC, PlayStation. Yeah. So it's definitely, it wouldn't be a main one. It'd be exclusives and for the kids. Richie, Nintendo has a huge library of older games. Yes, definitely has an older library. But the problem is if you get old enough, then they charge you for access to like games you should be able to just emulate, right? So if that's the case, if it's old enough, then I'm going to be playing it on an emulator as much as I can. Now, if they made it so that it was like a reasonable price where I could buy Super Mario World 3 or something like that for $5-10, then I would do that. Honestly, I don't know how other people feel about this, but convenience does take a part in my purchasing decision. How easy is it? Do I have to set up a lot of different things? That's one of the reasons I don't emulate very often, is that setting it all up and how much I tinker, I'll end up refreshing my Steam Deck again. And I haven't for a while. I have some emulation stuff set up and play, and I haven't refreshed my Steam Deck in a while, and I haven't done as much content on that because I just got tired of refreshing it, like reinstalling everything, getting everything set up to where I want to play it. So it's either I was tinkering with it and not playing it, or I was playing it and not tinkering. And right now I play it and don't tinker with it as much. And so I want to find other things to mess around with, to do videos on, because I've really been enjoying some games on my Steam Deck. Just how it is. It's kind of how I work. That's why I have a Mac Studio now for my... I try to do more of my game development on it too, but I still do some of it on my PC. And I'm hoping that eventually the Unreal Engine gets a little bit better on Mac. But yeah, it's so that I can kind of distinguish and from my tinkering, because my PC, I've changed what's on my Windows PC and to like Linux, and I might even do that again multiple times. And so I'd rather have some of my work stuff or my stuff I need to keep consistent not touched at all. Okay, off my soapbox on that. Anyone played the Chaos Head virtual novel series? I have not. Raichi, is it good? BT Maverick, platform puzzlers are probably great for intuitive thinking for kids. Yes, all this type of stuff is very good for kids, in my opinion. Like, it gets them thinking about stuff, how to solve puzzles, where to look, how to ask for help. It does make my 5, but he's 5, so I let it pass a little bit. He is 5, but I do let he does ask for help. He's like, I'm bored. I don't like doing this part. Can you do it for me so I can get to the part I want to do? And I'm just like, I think we're partially making them lazy. But yeah. To where he has to, these kids nowadays, they don't understand what grinding's like. Gotta get him playing World of Warcraft so he understands patience when getting good loot. Yeah, so it is definitely, I definitely recommend people get their kids specific type of games, Minecraft. Honestly, the type of, once they get older too, like Half-Lives, I think are great for it. They hand-eye coordination, it's all in moderation too. Is your kid doing that 24/7? Probably not the healthiest thing, but there are worse things they could be doing than playing games. Yes, the Icarus PlayStation is suing Tencent because Tencent has a game that is clearly very similar to Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, that being said, with IP and with clones and other stuff, I do get a little tired of this. It has to be such a direct clone that to actually make it me think that it'd be worth to actually have the lawsuit, in the favor of PlayStation. It has to be like they stole the source code. If they just copied the style, if they just made it so it looks very similar, I don't care. I think that's ridiculous. Because if at the end of the day, if they do that and make a better game than you, then that's kind of on you in some ways. And I just don't care about it. Bigger companies as much as smaller ones. Now, if it destroys a small company, that does suck. That type of stuff's not going to destroy or even hurt a small company or a big company that much. So, Wind Waker is the one where you lose most of your time going from one place to another. Still my second favorite Zelda game. Raichi, 100%. But it was on a boat. It was just fun. I enjoyed it. I have not played it since I beat it the first time. I don't know, 20 years ago or something like that. So we'll see if I don't mind open world games, but there's only a few that I'll probably go back and play, and Witcher 3 is one of them. And it still is too soon, and I beat it like 5 years ago. And it's still too soon for me to go back. So that being said, we'll see. Oh my gosh. Let's see if unplugging this actually helps. No. Okay, let's go to the next item on the page. Oh, this is so bad. It's so broken. Just seeing if I can get something that's gonna fix this. Maybe this. That's not even the right. Sorry, I'm just. This whole mouse thing's bothering the crap out of me. Itch.io is actively reaching out to other payment processors after pressure from credit card companies to curtail not safe for work content. And that compared to Valve, it has limited ability to push back. So, guys, it'll be interesting to see where itch.io is going to go. I think Valve giving, like Steam, that is, Valve, Steam, given in maybe too soon or too easily. And once again, we don't know what's behind the curtains. Maybe Steam just gave in for now and is actively going to be looking to negotiate or even maybe sue. I don't know. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until we get a little bit further down the road, but I would like them to be upfront about what's going on, Valve. That is, before, I lose hope on that. But Itch just doesn't have the pull, right? A lot of these people don't realize, like, companies like Itch, I doubt they're probably not even considered a medium sized company. They're probably considered very small. I couldn't imagine them making enough. Like, they probably make enough money to pay for the people that work on the site and the services, and that's about it. And the hosting. So at the end of the day, they just have to do what the payment processors say. And it is bullying in a lot of ways. And if there's no real, if there's no competition for the payment processors, which there are supposed to be, but like MasterCard and Visa are the biggest ones, and the ones that are dictating this, then it's over. I definitely want to see. I want to see less regulations from corporations and corporate. I want to see it more from a democratically elected groups, UN, the US, Europe. I want them to be doing the regulations on stuff, and so that we at least have a little bit of a say in it, not the payment processors. And I do think some of the titles on Steam should have been more on an adult website, meaning I'm not saying ban it completely, but even adult websites payment processors allow you to buy stuff. So it's very weird. They're really giving in. These payment processors are given into to groups that are saying, hey, you need to take these down because it's obscene and we don't like it. They're giving in really easily to these, where I bet you can go buy the same type of content on an adults only website and it wouldn't be, you could probably use your Visa card. So it's kind of interesting. It's definitely going to be, I'm curious to see what kind of payment processors they're going to be able to get. I definitely think this will push people more to crypto though. That's just what it is. BT Maverick, it was Half-Life Alyx VR trailer that got me into PC. Love the orange box on Xbox. Ooh. The Half-Life Alyx VR, so good. Half-Life Alyx is so good. Let's see here. BT Maverick, Starfield is a lot better syncing saves now. Oh, that's good. Starfield, I still have my save. I need to go and beat it, but now I'm just like, ugh. Because I was trying to do all the side quests, and it sucks so bad. It sucks so bad on the side quest I was on. I gave up. Like 2 years ago, whatever the amount of time it was since it came out. I like Starfield. I'll say this right now. I like Starfield. I think you guys know that by now. I just don't think I think they really screwed up in a couple of ways. And one day I'll go through and probably finish it, but I have a lot of games up in the air right now that I need to finish. So getting close to finishing Doom Dark Ages. And I do like it, but Doom Eternal is definitely a better game, but it aged a little bit in a weird way. It's bizarre how different these games can play. I'll say that. So, Raichi. Understandable. People who use itch.io are more tech savvy, so they use more payment method. But Steam only users want the easier way, Visa. Yes and no. I think Valve wants things to be less complicated, personally. So they don't have a whole lot of options. And beyond that, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because they can choose to be picky about it, but both of them could pick up. I don't think. I really think if Valve wanted to host those types of games that are a little bit more insidious and just say, hey, you can only buy this with cryptocurrency or PayPal or with payment processors that don't ban it, then they could do that. They would, if they wanted to, they could do it. I think this gave them an excuse to ban those titles because I doubt they wanted them anyways. That being said, we'll see what happens because the group is trying to push and MasterCard and Visa are potentially pushing to ban more games. And if you're banning it off the store completely and not having any other option to buy it, then that's just, blatant, just corporate censorship, I guess I should say, which at the end of the day, I find with corporation censoring. But with payment processors, it's just there's only so many, it gets a little dangerous, but I definitely think there are ways to fix it or remedy this for now. I'd like to see Valve say, hey, yeah, we're going to do a temporary thing over here just for now. But then again, they have to pay the people too. So like with crypto, it kind of sucks because if you're paying through crypto, I believe, I'm not sure if Valve takes away any taxes or anything. I don't think they do. They might do some. They'll probably take away the sales tax and pay the sales tax on your behalf. But then your income will still get taxed that you get from Valve, and they still have to distribute, let's say, the cryptocurrency to you. Then you have to sign up a wallet and everything with Valve. So I can see it being very annoying. They could use like MetaMask or some other services or wallets to fix that, but yeah, we'll see. Oh my gosh, my mouse is so I think it might be getting worse. I'm trying to move it slowly. Sorry, guys. Slowly. Don't mess it up. Oh, I messed it up. Stop moving. Okay. Games, if no one agrees with, should not be removed. As it is, one day it's games we don't play ever. Then next it's the games we like to play, and due to maybe too much blood or women a little too sexy or a guy. I agree. I agree, Lomkey. I don't like the slippery slope fallacy kind of thing. I don't like the slippery slope idea because it was used growing up a lot. Not directly, but it was always used to prevent doing a lot, like on the other side of things. Well, if we allow this, then this will be allowed. It's the opposite of what's going on right now. Well, let's say they have everything banned, blood and everything. Well, if we allow blood, then they're going to obviously want sex. If we allow sex, they're obviously going to want to have this. It works in both ways. What we want is things to be an open market, and the market is open. You could go and buy those games somewhere else. The problem is the developers get kind of screwed in the process. So don't get me wrong. I am definitely not in MasterCard and Visa's side. I'm just definitely not. I definitely think the group is going to be pushing for more bans like gore, et cetera, et cetera. We'll see what happens. I don't think Valve is going to ban their own games. So if Visa gets I think if Visa tries to push any more, I think Valve will be very, very apprehensive. Because if it pushes much more, then Valve has to get rid of their games. That's just like, they're not going to do that. BT Maverick, our main quest is first to get all the powers, which is where a lot of people went the opposite way, which isn't the usual for Bethesda game. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, BT Maverick. Raichi, no, Steam already has Steam Wallet. It's not, it has nothing to do. They have Steam Wallet, but they don't. Steam Wallet is probably still technically tied to the dollar. To get the Steam Wallet on there, you have to use Visa, MasterCard. They are being bullied, partially. We'll see what comes from it from now on. I'm not going to make the biggest stink about this. I am more worried, honestly, about itch.io than I am Steam and them getting bullied and MasterCard going after and Visa going after. I think we're going to be, if they go after too many companies, I think that you're going to get a lawsuit, like a class action, like multiple companies are going to go after MasterCard and Visa. And one of the things they don't want is more regulation, so they might stop pushing for it. So this is going to be a power battle we'll see for the next few years. I would be shocked if any more things get banned, but we'll see. I mean, I think I was wrong on this topic already once, so yeah. Lumkey, Valve you still allowed to buy Steam games with crypto. They removed it like 2 years ago. Yes, because it was partially because I think it was very volatile. And I've mentioned this before, and I know people have commented on this saying a little different, but excuse me. Stable coins are probably where they want to be. a stable coin, or maybe even Bitcoin, but stable coins where you'd buy it. Not necessarily trying to sell a crypto, but I also don't like how there's all these different cryptos. There's Bitcoin, Ethereum, stable coins. They all have their purposes. Going anywhere beyond that, a lot of them don't. There are a few that do, though. But yeah. I believe the far right conservative religious people from the 80s and 90s are back to censor stuff. Rachie, yes. You're not wrong. It's happening in Australia. The company that's doing it is based out of Australia, but we'll see. I think games have become too mainstream in America, and the hypocrisy of like, oh, you can't have guns and gun people down in the game is like, okay, cool, then let's put laws in place so we can't gun people down in real life. More laws that are protective, but we don't need to get into all that. It's an ebb and flow kind of thing. I think they're going to try to go after banning more and more. This is just one way they're doing it. I just don't think this is going to succeed. Lomkey Valve stablecoin. I guess their wallet would be almost considered a stablecoin in some form or fashion. They could use that to, like, you fund it, then you can use it to buy those types of games. Don't ask me why they haven't done that or not. I don't know. I don't know why they gave into MasterCard Visa. So we'll move on to the next article. This one is interesting because I never actually played much of Bloodlines 1. Vampire the Masquerade, the first one, I just never played it much. It's based off the Half-Life 2 engine, but done poorly. But I believe it's Half-Life 2 engine. Might be the Half-Life 1 engine. It was a really good RPG from my understanding. Really good first-person FPS RPG. And I'm really curious. And I honestly, because I just can't go back. It just doesn't hold up very well. I can't go back and play it I just tried. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can get through this. So I'm really hoping that the second one, it comes out soon, but it's taking so long. I think it was supposed to come out like 5 years ago. And then they split off into a bunch of different games they were going to do. And now I think they bought their IP. I think they're back on as a third or like their own developer. Don't know if they're publisher owned. So the most interesting thing is that Bloodlines 2 is channeling the best part of Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and dense hub instead of a huge open world. Which I think is interesting. Is there even any gameplay? Like, we've had we don't really have like a whole lot of gameplay. We've had trailers and stuff, but I only wanted to bring this up because, it's Spooky Seattle. I do like me some Seattle. I do like the idea of focusing more on depth of like up, down, everywhere around instead of going too big like a Witcher. I definitely hope it's bigger than. I hope it's a little bit bigger than Deus Ex. I think Deus Ex's ability to explore, especially their last game, was good enough for the series. Because they never, like, even with Deus Ex 1, like, it wasn't like the biggest amount that you could explore. It just was a lot of depth to it, to exploring that area. I hope they go bigger than that, but I definitely don't want them to go. I don't even think they need to go Cyberpunk level. Even though I think Cyberpunk did a pretty good job of how big it was. Rachie, I think we will cry if the woke people are ever gone. So, Rachie, how woke works and what woke actually means is you're just, it's just progressive. And I think most people are actually much more progressive than they realize. Wanting better, or let's say, wanting universal healthcare, wanting things to be better is typically more progressive coded. Anything else is usually conservative, where you want it to kind of go back to traditional values, which people don't even know history because traditional values don't really technically exist, because you'd be shocked at what people were doing 50, 60 years ago, but whatever. People just are easily manipulated. So yeah, just want to talk about this because I'm actually really excited about this one. So now I will have to say, Rachie, some woke people, like people that are say they're woke or whatever, are annoying. Don't get me wrong. But if you watch the new South Park, where Cartman kind of cries about NPR kind of being defunded and him crying because he can't make fun of woke people, is pretty funny. Because that's what it feels like on the other side. Is like once it's just, yeah, I don't know. YouTube has started using AI to determine how old you are and feed you age-appropriate content, so prepare to be judged based on what you watch and when. Get your credit card or government ID out if YouTube got it wrong. Well, let's see. Let's read this article, guys. You ready? You ready? We're going to be hitting a couple of different heavy topics right now. YouTube warned us this was coming back in February. Now it's actually rolling out a new AI feature to determine the age of viewers and then feed them age-appropriate content. According to an official YouTube blog post, this machine learning approach to content filtering and user account classification has already been running in some unidentified markets for an unspecified period, but over the next few weeks, YouTube will begin to roll out machine learning to a small set of users in the US to estimate their age so that teens are treated as teens and adults are as adults. That being said, I don't think this is necessarily the best way to do it. And I think they say they're doing it now. I guarantee they were already classifying people with machine learning. They just didn't care about the ages and they're pushing slop to whoever. Now they're saying, oh, we're trying to be more receptive to age-appropriate content, which they could have done this 10 years ago. Guys, they could have done this 10 years ago. They could have flagged certain accounts. It's like, okay, because they were doing stuff like 10 years ago. This one swears a lot. This one, and then flag the channel with a lot of different flags of what kind of content it is. And then that's how they base their machine learning. What's appropriate. Like they can skim a couple of videos and they already kind of do. And then have a couple of channels that are like this. These are definitely very safe, and have different safety levels for different ages. Like becoming less and less like we don't care as much as you get older. Lomkey, YouTube had this plan for a long time. Yeah, well, they've probably been doing some sort of thing for a long time, but now they're saying, well, we can fix it now, without saying the quiet part out loud, which is they should have fixed it a long time ago, and they had the ability to do it. Just knowing programming and architecture and stuff like that, it is very expensive, but how much YouTube makes, they don't have, like I looked into how much they make. They make billions of revenue. This is after they make all their payments and everything. They make bank way more than they let on. So they could have been paying people to filter out certain types of content for children. But, whatever. We don't care. Like, we honestly should have age gates. Like, I personally, and I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but I personally wish I could sign my 8-year-old up for YouTube with because they have YouTube Kids, but it is very limited, and some of the content creators who are very family friendly don't mark their content as for kids, because technically it's not, but it's very family friendly. I don't mind my kid watching a lot of that stuff, or even educational stuff, which is not included on YouTube. Like he likes to watch, or on YouTube Kids that is, he likes to watch documentaries that are on like how things are made. A lot of those things aren't YouTube Kids. I wish I could have something to where I'm like, yeah, I don't want any of this shit to be included in his feed, and to limit it to a couple of channels maybe, or something along those lines. But YouTube doesn't really, I don't think they really care about that. So Lomkey, problem I see the long run black market accounts. Well, it's not, they're not. there could be a kid that watches Grand Theft Auto only videos and we'll continue to feed them Grand Theft Auto videos. They're not going to fully know what the kid's age is unless they track other parts of their browsing, which then, I'm going to be screwed because my kid likes to get on my devices and watch stuff on YouTube, and I have to ban him from it and stuff like that, right? I have to and so I have Five Nights at Freddy videos that are stupid on my thing, on my account, and he's not allowed to watch YouTube unless it's selected videos it is. Lumkey, and another part too, a lot of YouTuber may see view counts cut down by a high amount, depends who the YouTuber. Yep, I could see that. Them messing with, every time they mess with the algorithm, you just got to be prepared. My content is going to get more age restricted because I swear a little bit more. I don't swear very often in my streams. I mean, I do little swears, but I definitely I don't drop the F-bomb as often, sometimes in my streaming. But beyond that, it's usually streaming on Twitch where I drop anything, or my other channel. But on this channel, I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful on how I swear too, because I'll get age restricted and could limit my views. It's not like I'm not used to it. I live in a community and I grew up restricting my speech. So let's see here. So this is just more, if you do YouTube, be prepared for algorithm changes. And then if you watch a lot of YouTube, which I'm assuming a lot of you guys do, I actually watch a lot of YouTube, be prepared for your feeds to change a little bit. So just as a heads up, I think it's an interesting way that we're going to go, but we'll see if it's actually worth it. Very quick is that AMD's rumored to be plotting a new ultra high-end gaming GPU plus a $550 graphics card with RTX 5080 performance, but sadly we probably won't see either until 2027, which is crazy. We're not going to see it for a year and a half. It's crazy. Like 5080 performance, but a $550 card for $580, that is pretty impressive if they get that through. An ultra high-end gaming GPU, I'm assuming, would be a 5090. NVIDIA might end up coming out with a 6000 series by then because they'll know that they'll have to compete by then, so maybe they'll come out with something by then. But I'm going to tell you right now, 550 for a 5080 performance is awesome. Definitely would buy that. I already think AMD's doing a decent enough job with their new cards. So if they keep this up and try to keep things less expensive, I think they're going to eat NVIDIA's lunch, because there are going to be two different types of people. There are going to be the same people, like a lot of people that are fine playing things at high, but not ultra, that will buy this stuff. I'm even getting into that camp, even though I'm usually more of a performance. I'm not going to say it. It's going to age my. I'm a performance freak and a visual freak. I like things to look really good as much as I can, because I feel like it's like a FOMO thing. Maybe I'm getting a little bit less like that over the years, and more into, I don't want to frickin' roast myself in my room now. Before the past few years, I've been in the basement where it's a lot cooler. So I don't really want to spend like $2,000 on a device that's going to both heat up my room and also just it's going to cost $2,000. I'd rather spend that on some other stuff like my Mac Studio, I guess. But I see the two camps. Like, there's going to always be people that want to get the most expensive, best thing. But I think on average, people just want a decent deal with good graphics. We'll see. BT Maverick, the disturbing YouTube videos are the poor AI kid videos with all the different IP slammed together speaking gibberish with Spider-Man and Muppets. Oh my gosh, right, BT Maverick? I do agree with that. If it's AI slop, keep that away from my kids. I don't necessarily care. Honestly, I'm just not a big fan of AI slop. Like, if I notice that it's even an AI voice, unless it's got to be very interesting topic, I don't watch it. I turn it off. That being said, some of these AI videos are so insidious and the way that they're catchy that kids just don't understand. It catches them and they want to watch it because it's so goofy, weird, whatever it is. So BT Maverick, you're onto something there. It is very disturbing because it's honestly, it cannot be good for their brains. If you watch some of that stuff, it is mush. Lumkey, I got games to run well until ray tracing comes in the mix. Then I lose 50 to 100 frames per second just to see myself win after it rains. Lumkey, I don't think you're playing the right games. Or enabling ray tracing on the right games, in my opinion. I see a decrease about 20-30% with ray tracing, depending on what ray tracing setting, and it depends on the game. Some games I don't enable ray tracing, like Cyberpunk 2077. I'll enable it, but if you enable it too much, it looks garbage. But I actually think ray tracing looks fine with adaptive FPS or whatever it is. Oh, that actually looks pretty fun. Sorry, the video on here. Adaptive or like what is it? Generative AI, I guess. So, yeah. Rachie, my 1070 Ti is still king. Dude, I had two. I don't know if they were TIs, but I had two 1070s. They could have been TIs that I had hooked up together, and I did a dual setup. It was fine. Like, I got a 50% increase, but it probably wasn't worth it. I bought one at a time. So I bought one, and then I saved up money and bought the second one, and then I hooked them together, and it would have been better just to get the 1080, which actually I think I did. I think I sold the two 1070s and got the 1080. So that was a long time ago. That was a very long time ago. Damn. Jeez. Hey, Rachie, that's totally fine. Like, I'm still like a performance kind of person, but I'm getting a little less that. I just want to hit a nice threshold, and I kind of want to get into some tooling to help game developers get into that realm too, to optimize their games so that we don't need to have such powerful, kind of like an F you to some of the big companies. But the first Descendant Unreal 5 game ray tracing drops a lot. Yeah. Unreal 5 ray tracing tends to do that. It also depends on how well they implement the ray tracing. If you put ray tracing on everything, okay, if a game does not do well with ray tracing, it usually is not optimized for ray tracing, meaning you probably don't want to play it with ray tracing. I'm just saying that now. If it only drops 20-30%, if it drops, I shouldn't say only, like 20-30% drop in performance is pretty high, but with my 3090, it's not that big a deal. Most games are fine. Like, I'll get a boost in visuals that I like over what I have to adjust with my settings. As long as I'm getting 60 frames per second, I'm pretty decent. Like, it's good enough. Like Cyberpunk with some frame generation and ray tracing on, I actually think it looks pretty good. I like it. But the bad side is it looks so bad on the Steam Deck for me, and it does not play very well because I'm so used to having it run 60 plus FPS. So I will say probably my biggest pet peeve too over the past few years is people saying Unreal 5 games all look alike. It really gives me it's a really big pet peeve on that. I think it's as someone that uses Unreal 5, it really comes down to just a lot more entry level developers can use it. It's more of a indicative of maybe companies being lazier too. Rachie, lossless scaling can be installed on Steam Deck now. I know. It's pretty impressive, actually. It's pretty impressive. I haven't done it yet. I might. I kind of want Valve to incorporate it into the system itself and make it much more integrated so I don't have to screw around with it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't do those videos as much. I liked doing tutorials back in the day, but I effed up my Steam Deck so many different times to where I couldn't play games all the time because I just would screw around with stuff too much. And I kind of got tired of it. That being said, I wouldn't mind. I still like doing like teardowns. I still don't mind screwing around with stuff. I just doing tutorials always made it so that I couldn't mess with something because it had to be in a certain state. Because I had to uninstall it, or I had to like uninstall it and then reinstall it and do the tutorial on it. So me just talking about nothing. Okay. Tech CEOs don't seem to realize just how anti-human their AI fanaticism is. And I think it's all because of the Enlightenment, which is such a weird way to put it. But yeah, let's hear what this Jacob Fox has to say. It is very bizarre. Not Jacob Fox, but like where what's his face from NVIDIA is kind of going. I just last week I watched the NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang and AMD CEO Dr. Lisa Su take the stage at the winning the AI Race Summit and talk about, oh my gosh, these conservative naming, like, I'm sorry. At least their sentences, they make more sense than like Xbox, but I don't think they know how to. Winning the AI race. How about we just like do something that's more, I don't know. I think you're going to win the race by bringing humanity into the next era with AI in a humane and dignified way. Which I do think that them winning the AI race is a very different way. It is very different than what they're thinking. So that much was expected. Okay, so they talked about how great AI is. That much was expected. But as I listened, I realized the cat is finally out of the bag. The anti-human drive that underlies much, but not all, of AI fanaticism is no longer being hidden quite so ardently. First, I heard Sue comment that to prepare the future generation for AI, we should revitalize the curriculum for kids' education to give a heavier leaning towards science and technology. I don't disagree with this. At least that's how I interpreted her somewhat vague comments about STEM, education, and AI. That might seem innocuous in itself if it weren't for the push we're seeing, at least in the UK where I live, to gut the humanities across higher education. I've witnessed this personally in universities and departments that I know. While revitalizing a curriculum favor of STEM sounds relatively inoffensive, in practice we already seen that it is not a positive sum proposal. The humanities lose out. I agree. Humanities need to be still a priority, but I definitely think we can balance things. I definitely think things need to be balanced. We might think this is accidental byproduct of the AI push, but I think it goes deeper than that. I think it's the inevitable results of the kind of thinking that is in large part driving AI fanaticism. A little after Su Hyung took to the stage in his characteristic leather jacket, of course he did. Here are among other things I heard him call AI the greatest equalizer because its onset. Okay, guys. AI can be the greatest equalizer, and if NVIDIA has their way, it is not going to be the greatest equalizer. Weirdly enough, or however you want to look at it, China actually is creating their stuff, which they're trading off of OpenAI stuff, but whatever. OpenAI trained theirs off of all our stuff, so they can't call it stealing unless they want to call stealing from us stealing. That's the great equalizer of AI potentially, but it's like because its onset means that everybody's an artist now, everybody's an author now, everybody's a programmer now. That is all true. It is not. It takes so much more. Even if you have the tooling, you can, artist wise, you can see, if you might have the eye to like see something you make that looks good. I obviously don't know if I really have that. I mean, I've made shirts, like stuff for the channel, which I thought was good. I don't know if anyone else did, but I thought it was good, but it does not make me an artist. Everybody's an author. That's so interesting, because to have an AI kind of do a book for you, unless you're doing all the key points to it, then okay, cool. But like if the AI is just doing the book for you, then you're not an author. The AI is an author. Everybody's a programmer, unless you're prompting and doing the like inputs enough, you're none of this stuff. But I will give it to you. If you do have enough say and enough guidance into it, I'll at least call you an app developer, maybe not a programmer. It's really hard to say. And NVIDIA they're the biggest company now in the world. They're worth $4 trillion. Of course, they're going to say it's the great equalizer. They're going to say as much as they can to make it sound like that they have the best thing going on. But I can guarantee you their model lends to big businesses, tends to lend to people that have money, and they like in Cloud Code and all these other tools I use in my programming, every month they keep on upping the price and or lowering how much you have the ability to use it. They're addicting us, and then they're going to cut off the hose and make it so they have to pay a lot more. It is, in my opinion, not the great equalizer. It has the potential to be if you can run it locally and definitely invest more in the local. It's just, we'll get there. We'll get there, I think. Is it true? Is an AI content writer an author? Is an AI image prompter an artist? AI aficionados certainly seem to think so. I mean, it's a middle ground. It really depends on how much work you put into it and using it as a tool. If you just say, hey, make me a Doom guy image, and then it pops it out, and you didn't have anything else, any big details to say, you're not an artist. When I imagine the future, it often comes to me in images. I paint in my spare time, but the images in my head are so much more realistic and complex than what I'm able to paint today. Now, AI is collapsing the distance between imagination and execution. With AI and the image generation, I can prompt and iterate until the output matches the complexity and realism of the vision in my head. That doesn't take away from the magic of painting. I still paint. In fact, being able to see my visions on the screen helps me get to them onto the canvas. But if AI gives everyone access to tools to transform their ideas into images, stories, or songs, it will make the world a much richer. It won't. First off, companies aren't going to allow that. I'm just sorry. Everyone is going to be poorer. It's going to collapse the middle class, and you're going to have a few billionaires, and you're going to have only very poor people if we continue to go the route we're going and not have AI. I don't think we should ban AI in the country, but I think we need to regulate it and how companies are utilizing it and how it's being replacing people. And we got to add taxes on to automation, which AI would be a part of. Lomkey, you can always install Bazzlight on the Steam Deck. If you mess up just with the command, can reimage the distro and reset it back to where you had it. I agree. I can. It still is time out of my day, and it's just something it takes a lot of work. And when I have so many other projects going on, it's just really hard to do that. But I know I need to mess with stuff again. AI is a good tool, but should not do the work for you. I agree. It should be used as a tool, not to replace you. If it can replace you, you're fricked. You're just effed. Lomkey, everyone would be like people like from Wall-E. I definitely don't want to be like that. If AI does all the work for you. Yeah, I agree. Jensen Huang and Sue and all these other people, they have a lot of money they're planning on making. And like NVIDIA could, if the bubble pops too much, could just wreck NVIDIA, which I think they need a little bit of humbling, to be fair. So let's see here. Enlightenment thought in general might not have been so explicit in this, but Gray argues, and I agree again, post-Enlightenment thought, whether it's seen in the Jacobs, communists, or neoliberals, has struck the same quasi-religious, we are progressing towards a scientific and rational utopia idea. The end goal is often post-human, or rather human reason, but disembodied and transcended. And yeah, it's true. So with the creative works and a lot of the stuff, I don't mind it being used as tools. I want to see automation take over the stuff that's really harmful for people, to like mining and a bunch of other things, and allow people to do truly what they want to do. And if it is mining, if it's truly doing hard work, that's fine. We could get somewhere if we actually work together, if we had a functioning government to regulate towards that, because that's how it's been done in the past. They usually infuse sectors that they want to see and inhibit certain. I'm sorry, I'm going way off on my tangents and my soapbox, but I'll get off soon. But infuse areas they want to see do better. Let's say manufacturing with AI and with robotics. They could heavily subsidize that and even give tax breaks to those industries, and then also say, hey, but with that comes high amounts of taxes. You're still going to end up on the better side of things, but we're going to then subsidize everyone. You're going to pretty much lay off and give them money to then hopefully get and do what they want, and they don't have to earn as much from the other thing. And so they'll get a UBI, but then they'd be able to earn more to actually have like a decent life instead of just like a very basic life. Okay. It can seem very scary, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, banning AI is definitely not the answer, because China's going to do it. A lot of other companies are going to do it. That's always kind of the way it goes. If we ban it, and AI gets too complicated and it can infect our, let's say, infrastructure, because we're not working with AI enough to even have AI countermeasures for hacking and stuff of our infrastructure, Russia, then we're screwing ourselves. So we definitely want to focus on AI. We just got to think about it in a very smart and holistic and humanistic way. And I just don't think we're doing that. Okay. This is Games Revealed, not James preaches about stuff. So I'm going to be looking to get a new mouse soon. Right now, I have the G502 Lightspeed, which I really like. I don't have the Lightspeed charging mat, which I kind of do want to get. It just was pricey at the time. And I'll get back to chat here in a second. But you guys, how is everyone doing in chat? You guys all doing well? Did I bore you? You guys asleep? Is this your nighttime? People on the East Coast that are just like, I'm going to tuck in to bed and listen to some James from Games Revealed and fall asleep. Is that your guys' plan from now on the East Coast? Lomkey, like AI girlfriends is going to be a big game changer more than anything. Lomkey, I kind of agree. I think it's going to be a little bit of a fad. I think some people are going to be very addicted to girlfriend/boyfriend. Like, honestly, I see girls getting more addicted to some of that stuff than actually boys. Just because girls tend to be imprinted in some ways while growing up to have like a prince-like character that's going to always be doting on them. They say yes and all that other stuff. But more and more, the studies are showing that like people want to not feel like there's conflict in their relationships. They want someone that's always agreeing with them, et cetera, et cetera. It's not overly healthy because people don't. No one in this world 100% agrees with everyone. So with the AI girlfriend, boyfriend, I do think it's going to be partially a fad for a lot of people. Like, they'll get into it. They'll eventually get out because I think they'll just get bored of it and realize it's really limited. And then there'll be the people that are maybe sycophantic or really want, or like they have maybe an imbalance in the brain to then really need validation or something else, or they have a lot of mental illness, and it will essentially could kill them. So avoid wireless for a mouse, I say. I have wireless. I use it wired, though. Like this thing, I use wired and wireless. Just depends. But I have both. I like it. I like wireless a little. I just always like wireless everything. I don't like cords, but I've had this thing corded so much, I might go back to a corded. We'll see. But I don't know. Maybe I could try going back to like Razer Death Adder, the V4. I'm curious how good it is. Because I have liked Razer in the past. It's just it had issues, very weird issues. I had a really nice Razer. It was like the wireless one, and it just kind of got tired of it. It looks like they have a different version of the G502X. So it's the X version, which I don't know. Maybe it's just wired. And this is similar to the one I already have, and I actually really quite like it. Yeah, it's wired. So I might go to this next, potentially. BT Maverick, my Corsair mouses kept breaking after a while. Oof. Yeah. I feel like, honestly, Logitech has been the best one for me. So this one I have right here, and some of the, like they used to have like a more, almost like the Razer Death Adder, where it's very like for big hands. Like I don't know if I even have like a big hand as much as I have a chunky hand. Everything, I have little sausage fingers, you see, little sausages. And even if I lose weight, like they don't slip down that much. So it's nice to have a little something meatier to grip onto. I still do have like a claw grip, but sometimes I like to rest my hands on it. So having something bigger is nice. It doesn't mess with my joints. I definitely, I'm thinking, because I have liked the Razer in the past, but Razer, we'll see. I'm really curious about these two. Trying another wireless. The Glorious Model O Eternal is such a weird name. Microsoft's getting in touch with this. Lomkey, I do like wireless, but my Wi-Fi is like, nope, not going to let you use it well today. Like Wi-Fi wireless, or you're like, or it's messing up your Bluetooth. BT Maverick, like 6 months amount of time, so I moved on to Asus. Oh, Asus for a mouse? I don't know if I'd do Asus as a mouse. Turtle Beach Burst 2 Air. I didn't even realize they had a Burst 1. I don't even realize. I haven't been in the market for a mouse in a very long time, and I feel like mice have kind of plateaued on how good they are. I just like this. I could probably run with the old Logitech mouse that was, I don't even remember what it was called, from like 15 years ago, and it'd probably be fine. I did competitive stuff on there. This Glorious Model Eternal looks too light. I need a little bit of a weight to it. I can't, if it's too light, I just don't like it. This one's technically weighted. But I don't think I actually have that much weights in it. Let's see here. Oh. Ugh, I have hair. I have Loki hair all over it. I have 4 grams of weight in it, but I can adjust it, which I do like. Because I use mice a lot. So yeah. Oh, I did not have that up right. I do like weighted mice. I just don't like them too. I used to weight them down a lot. Some of my older mice. I have thought about going back to the Razer Naga for some of my macros for programming, but yeah, I don't do MMOs as much. I always found that like every time I programmed it and then I reformatted my computer, I'd lose it all and I just wouldn't use it ever again for what it was used for. I am not, guys. I get excited about something, I will set it up, and it better be like that the rest of its life. Or if it ever changes, there's a good chance I'm not in that mood to make those changes, and I just won't ever do it again. I will make myself so inconvenienced, but still just not fix it. It's my mental problems, I guess. BT Maverick, pause. Pause. Loki doggy hair. Yes. Loki hair is everywhere. We have to vacuum like twice a week pretty much at this point. He sheds more hair. He could make a whole other Loki with how much hair he sheds in probably a month. Maybe even more. Like that dog sheds so much. I'm shocked. But yeah. I definitely recommend the Logitech, like any of the Logitech G50, like 502s. Kind of a weird model name, but those are definitely the ones I highly recommend for people for mice. Beyond that, depending on what type of mouse pad you have, at least for the older Death Adders, some mice pads didn't do as well. I do think the Death Adder is if you know the frills, If you want a decent wireless or even wired, they even have them wired. The Death Adders are actually pretty decent. I actually quite like them. And in fact, I like the way they're shaped a little bit more than the Logitech G502. So maybe I'll go back to that. We'll see. It's always fun. It's always nice to try something new. And they're just a little bit better setup. BT Maverick, James, do you use DualSense just Bluetooth wirelessly? I'm getting really bad latency with mine. I'm wondering if I can use a Bluetooth USB adapter. I use this right here. You can, okay, depending on what type of Bluetooth, like my Windows device over here gets bad latency if I use my, but the Bluetooth on it is just effed beyond belief. Like this with my big, nice, shiny 3090 PC, which, you know, it's a couple years old, but the Bluetooth tech is still pretty good in it. Well, specs wise, it's never been really good, actually. The Bluetooth, and I even have a wireless antenna for it. That's for the Bluetooth, and it is still kind of just garbage. And I don't know if it's the chipset, how it interpolates, or whatever it is, the Bluetooth, because I've swapped out the Bluetooth adapter, and it still doesn't work great on headphones or anything else. I put the headphones on my MacBook or my Mac Studio. This works better on the Mac Studio, like a lot better on my Mac Studio, and they're in the similar vicinity. The Mac Studio doesn't have an external antenna. All my wireless ones I can do more with and don't have issues. The Windows, I just think, and some Windows, like potentially Intel's or some chipsets, just royally are screwed up with their Bluetooth. I don't know how they get away with it. It's really bad. Rachie, I got myself a used Quest 3 for 260 Canadian dollars with a Pro battery head strap. Ooh, nice. Do you like it? Today, my 8 years old Xbox controller started to have a little stick drift. Hey, that's pretty good. 8 years is pretty damn good, Rachie. I like to hear it. Lomkey, my mouse pad, I'm picky. I have to touch it, needs to feel smooth. I have, resistance wise, I used to do a more smooth mouse pad. I don't anymore. I do more of a softer fabric, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to retire this one. It's falling apart. It's my Prey one, but yeah, I can do either smooth or not. That also depends on what type of weights I use. Richie, it's a Quest 3S. Oh, okay. Nice. I do kind of want a Quest. You're going to sell your Quest 2? Nice. Yeah, I kind of want a Quest 3. I want to get it for me kind of, but to get my kids to stop using my Valve Index. I don't mind them to a point, but they do beg for a lot, and I need to bring out my big computer every time until I get everything adjusted, which costs money, and I'm just not quite ready there. I'm making video on like what I plan on doing the next year with budgets and with my tech and my room and everything, but I'm still not done with that video. But yeah. It's kind of one of the reasons why we're looking at the mice a little bit. I also need to get some for my kids, which I think the G305 is it's a smaller mouse. It's pretty good for kids, actually. They're liking it. In fact, I might even get them to try. Maybe I'll try this glorious Model Eternal, which is, I hate the name. The best wireless is interesting. Logitech G4. What? Whatever. A Keytron M5 might be an interesting one to try, ergonomics wise. I could use it. I mean, I've been working out more lately, and so it can mess with my wrists for a little bit until I get used to it and they strengthen up. So it might be good to get an ergonomics, a better ergonomic mouse. INEO, so GBD already has a Strix Halo handheld. INEO confirms a Strix Halo handheld gaming PC is on the way, but if you think the powerful AMD chip is overkill, wait until you see the M.2 slots. There's two? INEO, man, you're so crazy with your announcements. BT Maverick, pause on needed something meaty to grab on talking about your mouse. Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize what I said. You're on it, BT Maverick. BT Maverick, question 3 is awesome, especially with the AR games and just being able to see the room clearly that you're in. Yeah. Yep. Why can't they make a Z2 mini PC? I think it's because the mini PCs will work better with Strix Halo. I think because they're not as, like, mini PCs aren't, it's not as important for power efficiency. They're not trying to hit certain wattages. You can easily get up to 100 watts and it's fine. Where typically, unless you're trying to hook up a battery, but then at that point, just get yourself a handheld. Where handhelds have batteries, they're indicatively meant to be on the go or at home. And so the Z2 is customized to be more power efficient, even though it could do a little bit better job. Z1s also. I think Z1s and Z2s, like, I think the same could be asked, why can't they make Z1 mini PCs? BT Maverick, Z2 Extremes are fairly new. There should be ones on the way. Yes, very soon. I will say this. I do think the future is APUs, and we'll see. I do think at one point we're going to see a huge turn to APUs being the default, and then either getting a graphics card internal or external. Man, Ioneo really just loves pushing so many devices. That actually looks kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. I have liked their aesthetic lately. I'm not going to lie. I've really liked their aesthetic. And I'm not even a big fan of these. Like, it's just, it looks cool enough. I don't have hope in the IS Space 3 and IS, yeah. I don't have faith in their software. That does look good. It's just, this is an Android. Damn. The stretching game controller compatible with Ioneo. So, what is this? Is that a phone? Oh my gosh, there's just so many different weird things. This actually, I really like this color. This orange really makes me think of like a Half-Life-esque thing. I don't know anything about that. That's such a weird. They're so weird. So this mini PC has a little miniature LCD on it. Interesting. I think. Dude, their trends with the duck stuff is pretty interesting, to say the least. Powered by Qualcomm. I think they're going to be doing more and more Android. We'll see, though. I wonder if that's where they're going more towards. The Conquer Fit defies convention, delivering an 80-watt battery without compromising on compactness. I'll say one thing. They know how to pack everything together, but their freaking speakers suck so bad because of it. Huh. I think this next two right here, I have a feeling this next right here is stolen from the Next.js library. I think that is Chinese. What do you say? They're going to be doing, yeah. Definitely doesn't seem like they have any want. Gaming tablets is an interesting one. I don't want a gaming tablet, but the mini PCs got my eye a little bit though, and potentially this right here. Which is it? A removable screen, or is it a phone? Wait a second. Is this just a casing for a phone? Huh. Or is this the casing for the tablet? So you can hook up different tablets. It's a gaming pad. Oh. I read that in a way that I thought, oh, well, it was all in one thing, but no, that's Huh. I see it now. I thought this was a button right here. This is actually the USB-C. Okay. And it can stretch out and you can put iPads and phones and stuff in there. Okay. I actually like this. Real gamers, no gamers. I wonder if INEO people actually play games. Huh. That's actually very tempting. Depending on how much that is, if they can charge less than $100 for that, then I actually might pick that up if it's iOS compatible. I also have some Android stuff too I could use. BT Maverick Z2 Extremes are fairly new. Let's see. Lomkey, if no one buys the Z2, if no one's buying the Z2, if AMD got too many of them, may end up in mini PCs just to sell them off from stocks. You're not wrong, but I have a feeling that Z2s are all allotted, like allocated, that is. I bet you they have buyers for all of them. So, yeah. Okay, guys. That's it for today. As far as like announcements, you're not going to like this announcement maybe, but I'm potentially going to be redesigning the Games and Reload website again. I haven't released it yet. I'm not happy with it. I might have AI'd it too much, meaning like it just has a lot of features to it that some of them I'm like just are too cumbersome. So I might strip a bunch of stuff out, start again, and try to just do a very, because it is news oriented, but I don't know if it should, because there's so many different news. I don't know. So I'm being myself. I'm being an idiot. I'm having fun with the website, but I need to stop. I need to get onto more Games Revealed content, and I will be. The website's going to come along. I just kind of want to release it feature by feature and then have you guys kind of judge what it is and kind of help me with it. That being said, that's pretty much it, guys. Do you have anything else? If not, we will call it today. And then hopefully we can do some more. Maybe I know I would like this show, like what we do this stream. Lomkey, keep it simple works. I know, but I love adding stuff. That's the only problem. Like I can do specific things myself and create my own projects and everything, but then I want to add my own things to it, and so I do. So we'll keep it simple. Trying to go too complicated, and then we'll build out from there. But I overcomplicated it once again, and so I have some like bugs going on with it, to where I'm like, it's resetting the like user every time, and I'm just kind of done with it. Yep, I can add it later. BT Maverick, just about all the Windows handhelds should have the Z2's Extremes next year. ETA Prime had the new MSI Claw with the Z2E and was showing the performance. Wasn't that huge of a jump from the Z2 one, but yeah, this is before the driver updates. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. We'll see. Raichi, remember soon everything will be an Xbox. BT Maverick's going to like that. I'm not mad with the way things are going. I do wish Xbox was a little bit more themselves, but I like getting all the Xbox games I can on the PC. I like getting all the PlayStation games I can on the PC. And I like having consoles every once in a while. But honestly, if I could start getting like... if my PlayStation controller can marry my Steam Deck, I'll be happy. Kind of like the best of both worlds. With like the resistive controllers and stuff like that. I think they're really fun. It's really fun. Some might think it's gimmicky. I don't. It's just really satisfying to pull a trigger on a gun that feels resistive like a trigger would. Okay, guys. With that being said, we'll talk some more about my game stuff, my other stuff, and my plans. I am switching jobs this week, and depending on how much my old job will need me for the next week or two, I might be busy. I might even have to. We'll see about the next week's stream. I might have to forego it for just a week, but once I fully transition to this new job, I should have a lot more free time in the sense I'm not feeling stressed. Right now, I feel stressed every day from my current job, partially because things are just so complicated in management. So, yep. Everything is an Xbox but streaming from the cloud. I just don't like streaming from the cloud right now. BT Maverick, feature creep. I am a feature creep fiend. When it comes to building everyone else's stuff, I'm like, let's release this now as an MVP, which is minimal viable product, for my own stuff. And because I'm like giving it to you guys, I want it to be better. And I'm going to have to, I have to. Rachie, the change job, so he will not be an alchemist anymore. Will be a healer. After that, I'm going to be a mage. No one will be a fighter. No, I'm going to be a mage. I'm going to be super, I'm a glass cannon. I'm going to die quick. Okay, guys. Thanks for the stream. I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys in Discord. And I really wouldn't mind streaming a little bit